negative ones and relying on the guys around me to make plays whenever the critical times arise. The fact that when I'm scrambling, it gives those guys more time to work and more time to get open. It's going to be hard on them, and they try to cover as long as possible. But if I can give guys like Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill and McCole Hardman, Sammy Watkins, all these guys more time to get open, they usually can do it. And then at that point, I try to get them the ball and usually it's not even that long of a throw, but if you get those guys in space, they make a lot of yards happen after it.
Patrick, I'm curious how the toe is feeling. I know it was black and blue after the Cleveland game. How are you dealing with that ahead of the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, it feels a lot better. Having these 2 weeks to let it rest and heal up, especially being almost 3 weeks away from over 3 weeks away from the injury itself. And if you look at those type of injuries, that kind of gives you the normal timeline. So definitely every single day that I get the rested, it makes it even better. But it's pretty close to 100%. I'm sure by game day it will be. But we've been through those adversity, and we've been through those battles. And if you watch our team, it's not just a fast flying show. We have a lot of physical guys on this team as well. And so we're ready for every single type of game that can be. If it's a physical game, we're ready for that. If it's a fast-paced game, we're ready for that. So we'll be ready to go. The guys are ready to play.
And we are ready to continue our coverage live from St. Pete Beach, Florida, where we have you covered for Super Bowl 55 with our reporters following both teams very closely. Diana Rossini looking very Florida-like, covering the Chiefs. And then there's Sal Paolantonio with the Buccaneers bundled up like it's in Philadelphia or something. We need an explanation coming up, Sal. Diana, we begin with you because we just heard from Patrick Mahomes. What are his teammates saying about the reigning Super Bowl MVP as we count down 5 days out?
But look, you can spend hours talking to his teammates about why Patrick Mahomes is such an incredible football player. But it's when you start talking to his teammates about who he is when you really find out who Mahomes is and why he's such a great leader. Players say he's like a chameleon. He's got this ability to just adapt to the environment, to the people around him, which is why he really has become the leader of this team. So we know he's a great football player. So I asked some of his teammates, why do you actually like this guy?
He's just a good guy, man. He's just a good guy, great intentions. He works his tail off. You can see he's accountable through his hard work. And that's just on the football field, man. Off the field, I don't know if they make a better human, man. He makes everybody in the room feel like they're a part of the family, a part of the brotherhood. You just want to, bottle it up and go out there and play for him.
I like him because he the same. Like he ain't like, he ain't extra. He don't try to quarterback people to death. Yeah, we love him because it's the truth. It's not fake. No one's sugarcoating anything. Where it's all pure. It's like real. You like, that's really Pat. Like, he really like a cool dude.
All right, so that was all the serious side to Patrick Mahomes. You saw Travis Kelce there. Well, yesterday Patrick Mahomes was asked if he had a spirit animal, what would it be? And he says, I'm a wolf because I feel like I lead men. And reporter followed up and said, well, what would Travis Kelce be? He said he'd be a giraffe. Well, Travis was then asked, who would be your spirit animal? He said, first of all, I wouldn't be a giraffe. I would be a tiger. And Patrick Mahomes, he would be more of a frog. So tell him that one. I'm sure he'll love hearing that because he's never heard that one before. So they all obviously have a great friendship. They get along on the field, off the field, and they're certainly trying to have some fun here as we're still a few days away.
Absolutely. And the thing is, you're absolutely right. They truly like each other. And I do think at some point that matters, especially when you get to this point. By the way, 25-year-old Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, if they win Sunday, Pat would surpass Tom Brady as the youngest quarterback to win his second Super Bowl. Keep that in mind. Diana, thank you. Now for the Bucks, over to Matt.
Yeah, has anyone ever picked a ferret for their spirit animal? We'll discuss later. Let's bring in our pal and yours, Sal Paolantonio. Hey, Sal Pal, speaking of Tom Brady, he's going up against that Chiefs defense under defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo. Why is this such a challenging matchup for Brady?
Well, Matt, the matchup of the quarterbacks, Brady and Mahomes, is one thing, but it's really Tom Brady and this Bucs offense against the Chiefs defense led by Steven Christopher Spagnuolo of Worcester, Mass, by the way. And if you go back and look at the history of these two guys against one another, Tom Brady has had his hands full. You go back to Super Bowl 42. The Patriots were undefeated going into that game against the New York Giants. Steve Spagnuolo was the defensive coordinator. Tom Brady in that game was sacked 5 times. He fumbled the football. and the Giants won the football game. In the matchups against Steve Spagnuolo, Tom Brady has thrown 13 interceptions, and he remembers every single one of them. Listen to this.
It's tough. I think Spags runs a great scheme, and I think he really caters to the strength of his players. And I think his scheme's evolved different times, and I played him several times over the last, 13, 14 years. I know he's going to have those guys ready to go. They'll be prepared. They got a lot of great players on that defense, a lot of veterans, a lot of guys who really understand football. Obviously, the moment's not too big for those guys. They've been on the biggest stage last year, and they played a great game and beat the Niners to win last year's Super Bowl. So it's going to be pretty tough.
And Steve Spagnuolo in these playoffs has brought the blitz as much as Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator of the Bucs, Matt Barry. That has been the signature call of this Chiefs defense. You go back against the Bills, they brought it against Josh Allen every single time they could. And Tom Brady has got to be prepared for that. And this is a preparation day. No practice today for the Bucs. Big practice tomorrow when they reconvene at One Buck Place across the causeway from here. And as far as my wardrobe, Kel says this is the full Dan Orlovsky look, okay? It's inspired. I got the hoodie and the glasses, so it's all good.
It's Florida, though,
It
right?
is, 52 degrees. A paisan like Sal Powell from Philadelphia. Not going to say I'm disappointed, but I'm going to say look, with what we're dealing with here, Sal Powell, you look good, though. That's all that matters. Sal Paolantonio. By the way, a number to back up that Chiefs defense generating pressure 36% of the time. That's highest in the NFL. A bundled up Sal Powell. Sal, thank you.
Sports Center on the Road is presented by Rocket Mortgage.
All right, there are two different stories to come out of